Good day, Coach Jude and classmate. I'm Michelle Karina, the little teacher of Study Hub 3. My role in this video presentation is to give the overall introduction. Today, we are presenting the child and adolescent's development and learning principles. And also, we are going to share our insights before the presentation ends. We are the Study Hub 3 and I am the first reporter, and I will going to discuss about why study about children and adolescents. The second reporter is Camille Sanchez. She will discuss about historical views of children. And the third reporter is Melody Alip. She will discuss about the developmental process and period. The fourth reporter is Trixie Marin Senda. She will also discuss about the periods of development. And the last but not the least, the fifth reporter, Michelle Gagano Cruz, will also discuss about the developmental issues. So I will proceed on my topic, why study about children and adolescents. So from the word itself, why do we need to study about children and adolescents, or why it is important to us to know about children and adolescents? So by studying and understanding the children and adolescents is important because it helps us know how they grow, think, and feel the stages of their lives. When we understand them better, we can teach them more effectively, guide them through challenge, and support their mental and emotional health. All of you are going to be future educators or future parents that will be responsible looking after children and adolescents as your clientele or students, or even children, and you will also be part of their daily lives. As a future educator or parents, you will play a key role in guiding and nurturing children and adolescents. You will be responsible for their growth, both in learning and in their personal development, whether as students in your classroom or your own children at home. You will have a lasting impact on their lives, helping them shape their future. Your role goes beyond teaching lessons. It involves being a source of support, encouragement, and guidance every day. So the more you have the chance to learn and understand them in the light of their developmental stages, the better you can guide them correctly. So from birth through infancy and into adulthood, we constantly develop and learn from genetic and learned factors. As children grow into adolescents and then into adults, individual and innate characteristics are hereditary, and life experience or environment play an increasing role as children adapt to internal and external conditions. So that as children grow from infancy into adulthood, they develop in many ways: physically, socially, mentally, emotionally, and morally. These changes happen due to a combination of their genes and what they learn from their surroundings. And during the first 5 to 10 years of a child, there is almost unimaginable physical, social, cognitive, and emotional and moral changes and growth which takes place. So the early years of life, particularly from age 5 to 10 years, are very important because a lot of growth takes place. In these early years, children work out their place into the world. They are part of a family, community, and social system. They are also an individual being, and their foundations of personality are well and truly formed. Studying human development makes it easier to spot possible signs of trouble, from problems with cognitive, social, or emotional development in early childhood struggles in later life. Being able to identify potential problems is important. So that's how humans grow and develop helps teachers notice when something might be wrong, like problems in how children think, interact with others, and manage their emotions. It is important for teachers to study child development because they must understand the minds of their students in order to educate them effectively. understanding, and students can help educators be more empathetic to their students. So by understanding these issues early, teachers can help prevent bigger problems later. So it's important for teachers to understand the child development because it allows them to better connect with and teach their student them to more caring and understand towards the student needs. The same holds true in studying and understanding the adolescents today. Everyone knows that we involve ourselves in looking after children. There is only the constant, and that is change. Children develop to become older, go to preschool, eventually become a pre-adolescence and transition there from the one development stage on the next involves major changes. So the importance of understanding adolescence by emphasizing that change is the only constant in a child's development. It explains that as children grow from toddlers to preschool and later into adolescence, they undergo significant physical, emotional, and behavioral changes. In particular, brings noticeable shift due to a rapid growth and the emergence of adult-like characteristics. So teachers or parents for that matter, or anyone working with individuals under those ages should be able to understand that those radical changes are normal, real, and natural, that we all go through the journey from childhood and adulthood. And the message highlights that teacher and parents and anyone working with the youth need to be recognized that these changes are normal and part of the natural transition from childhood to adulthood. So, by understanding children, we can learn more about why they develop the way they do and also the most effective ways to help them to develop as responsible citizens. So, by understanding more about how children learn to read, we can develop programs that want more effective children's development. We can also understand why some children have difficulties and delays and how to help them overcome challenges and what we need to do. So, psychologists like Jean Piaget, Erik Erikson have all provided that key insight into how children develop mentally, emotionally, and socially. By studying children's development, we can better understand why they grow and learn in specific ways, which helps adults such as parents and educators to guide their development more effectively. For example, by learning how children acquire reading skills, can create programs that make learning to read easier and more engaging. With a deeper understanding of child development, we can also identify why some children struggle or experience delays in learning. So, according to J. Rinker 2018, understanding child and adolescent development will help teachers present materials that the students are physically and mentally ready for. It will help them understand why students behave in certain ways. Children who are ahead or behind the expected developmental of their age raise concerns. So J. Rinker 2018 suggests that when teachers understand how children and teenagers develop, they can adjust their lessons to match students' mental and physical abilities. So by studying children, we can also understand environmental factors that influence how the child grows physically, cognitively, emotionally, and socially. The child's language development will also reveal to some extent the influence of his past experiences. So studying children help us how different environmental factors like family, culture, and community shape their development in multiple areas, including their physical, cognitive, emotional, social, and moral growth. So finally, I will share my insights. Being able to understand the children and adolescents' life stages, our own personal journey from childhood to adolescence will provide rich and complementary undertaking because have discovered and learned the various points of view of experts' approach to study children and adolescents in many different ways. The complexity and richness of ideas and practices in the child and adolescents development, we need to understand how important our roles are in shaping the next generation of the world.
Good day, my name is Camille Sanchez, Pitalan IA Section 1B, and today I will be tackling the historical views of childhood. Historical views of childhood have shifted dramatically early civilization. So, children as miniature adults expected to work and contribute from a young age. Middle Ages brought focus, discipline, and control with sin as needing to be tamed. Renaissance and Enlightenment emphasize education and nurturing children's potential. Current concerns of today's children. Today's children face multitude challenges ranging from traditional concerns like hunger, poverty, emerging issues like climate change, and mental health. So here's the examples of current concerns about today's children.
Good day, Coach Jude. My name is Melody A. Ali. The developmental processes and periods is developmental processes and periods. Human development is a complex and fascinating process that unfolds throughout our lives. While we often focus on individual differences, there are fundamental patterns and principles that guide our growth and change. Biological, cognitive, and social emotional processes. Each of us develop in certain ways like our individuals, yet most of the time our focus is direct to an individual's uniqueness. However, biological, cognitive, and social emotional process. Each of us develop in certain ways like another individuals, yet most of the time our focus is direct to an individual's uniqueness. However, Santrok 2002, who is an expert on the lifespan development, suggests the following idea about human development: biological, cognitive, and social emotional. Imagine the types 3 who bend with traits or different colors and textures. The types 3 human development with each trait representing a distinct process that contributes to our overall growth. These processes are biological process, biological processes produce change in an individual's body. Genes are inherited from the parents. Development of the brain, height, weight, motor skills, hormonal change, or puberty reflect the role of biological processes in development. These are the physical change that occur in our bodies, driven by our genes and influenced by our environment. Cognitive processes refers to change in our individuals through intelligence and language. The task of putting together a two-word sentence, memorizing a poem, solving a math problem, all individuals' cognitive processes. Cognitive processes, this involves change in our thinking intelligence, and language abilities. Social emotional processes involves change in individuals' relationship with our people, change in emotion, and change in personality. For example, girls develop of assertiveness. For social emotional processes, this compasses change in our relationship with others or emotion and our personalities. Development is lifelong. It does not end in adulthood. Development in plastic plasticity refers to the potential for change. There are no such things as I am too old for that. Even if again is associated with decline in certain intellectual abilities. This decline can improve, prevented, or reduced. It can be improved through retraining, such as training, adult learning, or technology. A development is lifelong. A development is lifelong. It does not end in adulthood. B development is a plastic. Plasticity refers to the potential for change. No such things as I am too old for that. So even again, it's associated with declines in certain intellectual abilities. This decline can be improved or reduced. It can be improved through retraining, such as training adult learners or technology. C. Development is multidimensional. Developing consists of biological, cognitive, and socio-emotional dimensions. D. Develop is a relative order. During infancy, the greatest growth is always occurring at track, which is called the caudal pattern. Caudal pattern. E. Development takes place gradually. It takes years to mature, and that's the way of nature. Well, some developments occur that the flash inside more often it takes weeks, months, years to a person to undergo change that result to a display of characteristic developmental change. Developmental stage. If developmental if development is a contextual, individual's response to the act of context. This includes the individual's biological make-up, physical environment, cognitive process, historical and cultural context. G. Development involves growth, maintenance, and regulation. Growth maintains maintenance and regulation are three goals of human development. The goals vary among developmental stage. The goals vary among developmental stage.
My name is Lisenda, and my role of this video presentation is to give definitions of the period of development, and I study hub number 4. Development is defined as a process that results in growth, progress, positive change, or the additional of physical, economic, environmental, social, and demographic components to all existing system or environment. Development, the process in which someone or something grows or changes and becomes more advances. Natal period. The prenatal period is defined as the gestation period from the conception of birth. Research has shown as advertising exposure and induced change and epigamy as early as utero and evidence is found. Mounting, there are sensitive periods for stress exposure within this every early life period. Prenatal period, the gestation period from the conception to birth. Infancy is an infant or a baby is a very young offspring of human being. Infant is a formal or a specialized synonym for the common term baby. The state of period of early childhood or babyhood. A child is a human being between the stages of birth and puberty, or between the development period of infancy and puberty. Childhood is the state of being a child. Adolescence is a traditional stages of physical and psychological development that generally occurs during the period from puberty to adulthood. Adolescence is the period of transition between childhood and adulthood. Adulthood, the period in the human lifespan in which full physical and intellectual maturity between attained. The period in the human lifespan in which full physical and intellectual maturity have been attained.
Good day, Coach Judith Martinez. My name is Ms. Rachel J. Gagano Cruz, and my role in this video presentation is to give the overall introduction. Today, we are presenting the developmental issues. What does developmental issue means? Developmental issues refers to problems or delay in a person's physical, mental, emotional, or social growth. These issues can occur at any stage of life, but are most commonly noticed during childhood. So, developmental issues happen when a person has trouble growing or learning in the usual way. This could affect their body, mind, emotions, or how they interact with others. These problems can happen at any age, but they are usually seen when someone is a child. So, in studying children's development, there are 3 important issues often come up, which is the nature versus nurture, continuity versus discontinuity, early versus later development. The definition of nature versus nurture. Nature refers to the biological and genetic factors that influence a child's development, such as inherited traits from parents. While the nurture refers to the environmental factors and experiences that influence development, such as upbringing, education, culture, and social interactions. The nature versus nurture, this debate is about whether a child's development is mostly influenced by genetic or being environment and experiences. Next, the continuity versus discontinuity. Continuity suggests that development is a gradual continuous process where the changes occur slowly and steadily over time. Discontinuity argues that development occurs in distinct stage or step with abrupt shift and significant changes in behavior or abilities at certain points. That the continuity versus discontinuity. These issues is about whether development happen gradually and smoothly, or shall I say continuity, or in distinct stage. Some theories like those from Jean Piaget argues that children go through different stages of cognitive development discontinuity, while other believes development is more continuous. Number 3, the early versus later development. Early development emphasizes the importance of experiences and factors in a child's early year as being crucial in shaping their future growth and behavior. Later development focuses on the idea that experiences and change later in life can also play a significant role influencing and altering development. In these debates focuses whether early experiences are more important than later experiences in shaping a child's development. Some researchers believe that what happens in a child's early year has a lasting impact on their future, like how early bonding with caregivers affect emotional development. Others argue that later experiences can still have a significant influence and that people can overcome early challenges through later positive experiences. These three issues are central to understanding how children grow and develop, and they help guide research and theories in child development. Also going to share our insight before the ends of our presentation. We are the study hub number 3.